What's going on, my fellow A-plussers? Welcome back once again to a brand new episode. It is I, your more phenomenal host, Adam Perez, certainly back once again with a brand new episode of A+ More Phenomenal, your weekly stop for your Power Rangers, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider news and reviews right here over on our YouTube page, going live today as we are every Saturday along with our Facebook page, guys. So thank you very much for certainly joining us here once again. This is a busy weekend for Power Ranger fans, guys. For those of you who may have forgotten, we also do have Power Morphicon that's certainly going on this weekend as well. So definitely go ahead and make sure that you make some time to go ahead and certainly check it out. If I'm not mistaken, I do believe it is pre-recorded, so you are able to go back at any particular point in time and check these out. But I'm really hoping that we do get some great announcements maybe out of Power Morphicon, some great panels also. I mean, we did wind up actually getting ourselves a Dino Fury episode 12 announcement yesterday at Power Morphicon online. So you never know what you can expect for Power Morphicon this weekend. So I'm really eager after this show to go ahead and dive into some of these particular panels that we definitely have in store. I believe at like 3 o'clock, they've got a Diversity in Power Rangers Part 1 that they're going to be talking about. So I probably will maybe dabble in that a little bit along with some other panels today as well, guys. So listen, not only do we got Power Morphicon this week, but we got a ton of topics for you guys today. We're going to be recapping episodes 9 through 11 of Dino Fury, talking with you guys about what you guys certainly thought. We're going to be previewing episode number 12, also going to be getting into some Power Rangers issue number 8 preview for you guys, and then of course a ton of tokusatsu news as our Gokaigers are in fact coming back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really thrilled to certainly go ahead and talk with you guys about all these topics today. So it should be a pretty packed show, guys. So sit back, relax. If you got your morning coffee, I don't have my Yoda cup here again, but if you guys got your morning coffee, let's enjoy this Power Ranger talk and tokusatsu talk today, ladies and gentlemen. It should be a really great day, to certainly say the least. Let me give some shout outs to anybody that's in the live chat with us. It may be a little bit slow today in regards to our live viewership, just because of the fact of Power Morphicon certainly currently going on. So I'm pretty sure it's taken away a lot of viewers this week, but that's okay. I'm at the end of the day, I was actually even considering the idea. I was like, should I have an A+ More Phenomenal this weekend or not because of Power Morphicon? But there was just so many great stuff that wind up happening this week for us Power Ranger fans that I thought we should have a place to certainly go ahead and talk about it. So let me give some shout outs to people that are in the live chat with us today. We got Adrian Perez. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you, brother from another mother over there. We got Adam Perea, almost my clone, saying, hey, what's up, guys? This week has been awesome for Power Ranger fans, Dino Fury specifically, and then and then all Power Ranger fans for this weekend with Power Morphicon. So good point there. Power Ranger Legacy coming through. You know what time it is. It's morphin' time. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, we got AJ in the house. Please say Dino Fury victory, as they are. I feel like that's how they usually say it on the show. But yeah, guys. And AJ also bringing up another panel for you guys later. He says the Ninja Storm panel is tonight. They will honor Pua. First time the entire cast reunite since the series ended, and the Dino Thunder crossover. Yeah, I think if there is any panel I'm really looking forward to, it probably is the Ninja Storm one, especially everything that happened with Pua, unfortunately. Who else we got in the house? We got Jordan in the house. What's up, buddy? Thank you very much, man, for coming through as always. Johnny Marrero in here as well. Thank you very much, Johnny, for making your presence felt as always. Let's see who else we got. I think other than that, that should be it right now. And listen, guys, we may have some stragglers that wind up coming as the as the episode progresses. Certainly make them feel welcome and at home, to certainly say the least. The A Games 10 is certainly in here as well. What's up, man? Thank you very much for stopping by today. But we got a ton of stuff that we're going to be breaking down for you guys. And real quick, before we do, listen, if you guys do have a live viewer question that you certainly want to make sure gets answered on air, feel free to submit them over at any time. Oh, you know what? Hold on one second, guys. I meant to change the color of that. I'll keep it simple here today. No big deal. But yeah, if you guys do have any particular questions you want to go ahead and submit over to make sure that your question or comment gets answered live on air, feel free to go ahead and submit it over to aplusmorephenomenal@gmail.com. Again, that's aplusmorephenomenal@gmail.com. You can send them out throughout the entire week if you want to, or on Saturday, whatever works. And then towards the end of the show, guys, we definitely will go ahead and get into your guys' main topics. Let me see if there's any other business to get out of the way real quick. Shadow Nova Productions in the house. What's up, Shadow Nova? Izzy's in here as well. Thank you very much for certainly stopping by. Power Ranger Legacy says, is the MMPR cast not attending this year or virtually? The social pages don't even show them listed. I guess not. I guess they were only able to get their hands on maybe some actors. I haven't really checked out the Power Morphicon online schedule as of today, but that's okay. If they don't make it this week, you know what, guys? Hopefully we'll have them in person in 2022 to certainly look forward to. So we'll definitely see how they do things there. Before we get into our main topics, real quick thing of business. You guys know how we do around here. We want to keep the lights on, right? We want to be able to continue to grow our production value here at A Plus More Phenomenal. And there's a way that you can certainly help, guys. If you want to go ahead and continue to support this channel, feel free to go over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/A+opinions, guys. Continue to certainly show your support. We've got tiers from $1 a month if you can afford it, $5 a month, $10 a month, whatever certainly works out for you. A ton of exclusive content and early access content for you guys, not just on the Power Ranger A Plus More Phenomenal side, but if you're big fans of Marvel and DC, you'll also get the benefits of A Plus Hero Report as well, guys. So check it out, patreon.com/A+opinions. See if there's any particular tier that certainly works for you. Your support definitely does go a long way to upping the value of our channel along with our shows, and allows us to provide more original content for you guys on a weekly basis. But if for some reason you're not able to help out monetarily, you can certainly go ahead and just subscribe to our channel. That definitely helps. Hitting that like button certainly does go a long way. And of course, always commenting at the end of our shows. But other than that, guys, I think that's going to do it for us. Let's see who else we got in here. We got Indy making his presence felt in here, man. Thank you very much, Indy, for certainly coming through today as well. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into our main topics today, as Saurav winds up just making it in time. Saurav, thank you very much, man. But our first topic, of course, look, Dino Fury came out with a bang this week. June 15th on Tuesday was the big day. We got the first half of season 1 of Dino Fury Netflix, or Power Rangers Dino Fury on Netflix for you guys. Not just episodes 1 through 8, but the additional 3 episodes in 9, 10, and 11, ladies and gentlemen. And so first and foremost, I definitely want to know what you guys think. But for those of you who have missed it, we did go ahead and review all 3 of these episodes individually. Those videos are currently up on our YouTube page. If you want to go ahead and check them out, you certainly can. So this is going to be more of a brief recap in here, as I really love the batch of episodes that we wind up getting, some more than others. If you ask me, I think episode 9 was probably my least enjoyable of the 3. Not to say that it was a terrible episode per se, but it was certainly a mixed bag for me, if you will. Some highs, some lows when it comes to character work in regards to just making them feel just a little bit too out of character for me, if you will, but some great highlights, to certainly say the least, when it came to episode 9 to kind of stabilize it just a little bit. But for me, the 2 winners this week definitely come in the form of episode number 10 along with episode number 11. I mean, episode 10, we get a nice little focused on Zato along with Solon. We get introduced to a brand new villain in Slither that's voiced by Campbell Cooley nonetheless. And then, of course, you got episode number 11 that sees just Amelia continue the shine, as we get to see not only a further mystery into her own personal life, but we get the return of Pop Pop as well. And of course, we get the blazing armor that wind up actually debuting. Another first for this season, honestly, in the sense that a female Ranger is the first one to go ahead and wear a power up, if you will, or at least introduce us to a power up like that for that particular season, as well as really manning the Megazord all by herself, really coming through just boss level type stuff. Hunter Dano just did a remarkable job in episode number 11. And I asked you guys this past weekend over on our Twitter account. Again, if you're not following us on Twitter, please do so. We're very active over there. But I did go ahead and put up a poll. It was only up for 24 hours or so, but I wanted to kind of get everybody's ideas to if out of these 3 episodes, what was your favorite one? Here's the actual poll that I put up. If you ask me, we had a great batch of Power Ranger Dino Fury released this week. Out of the 3 episodes, which one was your favorite and why? Reaching out to Ranger Nation. Within 24 hours, we got 55 votes, which I was actually pretty impressed with. But based off of the 55 votes, overwhelmingly, guys, episode number 11, McScary Manor, certainly won it out for you guys. So I'm kind of curious if you guys agree with this. Did you guys get the opportunity to vote? If you didn't get to vote, which one would you have certainly selected? I definitely would love to know your guys' thoughts. So I will say this, when it comes to episode number 11, I definitely thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, it certainly put people in the mindset of creating theories and things like that. The hype level for Hunto Deno was just off the charts, to certainly say the least, and certainly not taking anything away from Hunter Deno. I think she's been remarkable going into the season. There were only maybe like three of the characters that I really had my eye set on in regards to just talent wise when it comes to acting. Russell Curry, because some of his past experience, Tessa Rao, and Hunter Deno were the three that I knew going into this season were probably going to be just have just really great moments. In episode 11, certainly did not shy away from that. So Hunter Deno is definitely getting this shine as he certainly deserves. There has been a lot of hyperbole thrown out there, though. A lot of, I don't want to say exaggeration, but I do feel like it's very early on in somebody's career to be out calling them the best Pink Ranger like we've ever had, sort of thing. Now, listen, if you think that Hunter Deno as Amelia is the best Pink Ranger we've ever had, certainly feel free to definitely agree with that or feel that way. There's certainly nothing against it. For me, I'm just not going to be able to just randomly throw that type of title onto anybody when we're really only 11 episodes into a season and we don't really know how the rest of her character kind of builds out. Now, I'm not saying she's not an impressive Pink. She's one hell of an impressive Pink. Definitely probably the most impressive Pink that I've seen, especially since the Neo Saban era, with the exception of maybe Shelby, that I think from Dino Charge left quite an impression as well. So I'm really excited to see her continuing to grow. I think everything that I've seen from Hunter Deno as Amelia has been pretty fantastic. She continues to grow her character, continues to show her amazing facial expressions, and just really continues to bring life to the Amelia character. So I am very eager to see what else she does out there. But for me, I'm pumping my brakes on saying she's the best until I actually see the entire season for itself. But nonetheless, Amelia is definitely impressing the hell out of me this season, for sure. But I've loved all these. I think Campbell Cooley coming out as Slither was fantastic. It's something that we kind of predicted. If anything, the one thing that we did try and predict that didn't happen was, in fact, the Gold Ranger. When we got episodes 1 through 8, one of the things that I said, guys, was that I was surprised that they didn't introduce him at the very end of episode 8, but I was actually kind of glad that they went ahead and held off on his debut for the second half when we thought the second half was going to be dropping on Nickelodeon. So when they revealed to us that we were getting episodes 9 through 11, for me, I immediately thought, you know what? There's no way you don't introduce the Gold Ranger here on Dino Fury's first take on Netflix, if you will. 3 new episodes. The Gold Ranger's got to be in there somewhere, right? Along with the introduction to Slither. Slither was certainly in there, but unfortunately, the Gold Ranger was nowhere to certainly be found. And you know what? I can't blame him. I can't blame him. As hype as I was to certainly see the Gold Ranger in here, the fact that they continue to hold off on his debut, I think, is fantastic. The idea of not blowing your load so soon, not giving the fans everything they want within the first 10 or 11 episodes, I think is pretty brilliant. I think strategically, from a marketing standpoint, I think it's a great way to just continue to build anticipation and hype for the second half of your season. I believe in Real Soldier, the Gold Ranger doesn't appear until like episode 14 or 15 or something like that. So it would not surprise me if I had to predict. I would assume maybe by that benchmark, maybe by the 15th episode, we'll get our Gold Ranger. But if they want to try and hold off a little bit longer than that, I'm perfectly okay. But I feel like if you are, not that they are adapting a ton of Super Sentai footage in here, I feel like it's like 90% original footage, if that, for this season so far. But I was thinking maybe they can hold off on it onto the second season, but that may be way too many episodes in to have to do original footage and kind of film around everything Gold Ranger related. So if I had to put my bet on anything, maybe I would assume maybe by episode 15 we'll definitely get the Gold Ranger, but who knows? The way that Hasbro is clearly showing that we're doing things differently, and what Simon Bennett's certainly doing as the showrunner and how he's executing this season so far, who knows when the Gold Ranger will certainly pop up. But again, while I certainly was expecting him, I like the decision. I like the decision to certainly hold off on him. But yeah, Campbell Cooley's back as Slither. Great. I'm really going to be looking forward to seeing how Slither and Mucus continue to build their bond in a relationship. It was one of the aspects of Real Soldier I really enjoyed. So when you've got somebody as talented as Campbell Cooley to give Slither some life, I really want to see just how that relationship between him and Mucus continues to grow. If I had to put my finger on any particular episode that really worked for me, my favorite episode out of the batch is probably episode number 10. And that's because I just loved all the Zato and Solon stuff, the continued storyline of, Lost Signal all the way back from episode 3, right? The idea of Zato continuing to try and reach out to Rafkon. I do think that the messages that he's sending will eventually go ahead and sort of pay off. So I felt storyline wise, episode 10 really had that meat in it, if you will, along with the introduction to a brand new villain in here and some fantastic fighting sequences that we wind up getting. Not that Dino Fury ever slacks when it comes to fighting sequences, but really impressive stuff. But for me, the highlight of episode 11 is definitely Amelia using her blazing armor, all original footage, which I was really thrilled to certainly see. The fact that the Mira Soul, which is the name of the power up itself in Real Soldier, I believe is debuted by Ko, the Red Ranger, initially. But these power-ups, mind you, while the Pink Ranger certainly achieved it, just understand anybody can certainly use these power-ups. So it's not necessarily like a battleizer specifically for the Pink Ranger. Anybody certainly will be able to use that same armor at some particular point in time. But it looks fantastic, all original footage. I love not only the blazing sword as she slashes, but using it sort of as a whip too as well. Just boss level stuff, man. And then having her hold on to that big old mega saber inside the cockpit of the Megazord, it looked breathtaking. It looked breathtaking. Listen, I also want to talk a little bit about episode number 9 because of the fact that I was talking with AJ this past week, and AJ said something along the lines of, man, I see you tagged Kai in your episode 9 review. What is he going to think if he realizes that it's the least favorite of your episodes? And to that I said, it's not really anything against Kai or Ollie. Like, if anything, he's the one that shined, he's the one that I give big props to for helping our Rangers certainly get out of the mess that they're certainly in. What I am critical about for episode 9 is the lack of friendship quality that these Rangers showed to poor Ollie. The idea of just leaving this guy stranded in the forest while they go and try and find help. The fact that they dismiss him immediately, based off of one incident with Zato with his hammock, right? Like, the guy is more than proven himself, Ollie, at least when it comes to being technologically sound. I mean, you see everything that he's done with his mother, Dr. Akana, the technology that she winds up having when she's doing her excavating and her searching and things like that. So it's not like Ollie's no slouch. Like, the guy literally invented and created all these little innovations and trinkets for their camping trip. Yeah, the hammock certainly didn't work out, but you're going to tell me you're not going to take the advice of maybe the smartest guy in the room when you're trying to find your way out of the forest? So it just really rubbed me the wrong way. And that's not towards Ollie. That's definitely towards the writing and how his friends certainly how his friends certainly treated him. We didn't think that your technology would help us get out of the situation. Like, what are you talking about, guys? Like, it's the only source of power around, and you don't want to try and figure out how you can manipulate some of his technology and inventions to get yourselves out of, like, it didn't make any sense to me. It just didn't make any sense to me. But overall, outside of that, there was definitely some aspects of the episode that I certainly enjoyed. So if you ask me, 10 and 11, definitely the strongest out of the two. Episode 9 felt a little filler to me with some really weak script and writing, unfortunately. But a couple things here or there to kind of certainly love about it. But I'm really excited to know what you guys think. you had the opportunity to check out episodes 9 through 11. Which one stood out to you the most specifically? I would definitely love to know your guys' thoughts down in the comment section box below. I felt like Jane and Jayborg, for the most part, not too overly used in here. Episode 9 was pretty fun with the payphone and the wishing well, if I'm not mistaken. They were pretty subdued in that episode. I feel like, if anything, was it episode 10 with the episode 10 when they turned Jayborg into like J-Cat, and she was meowing and eating like the fish out of the trash can and stuff. Yeah, they definitely put a lot of humor in regards to that, but none of the stuff really kind of takes me out of it. Like, one or two scenes of Jen and Jayborg don't really ruin an entire episode for me, like Vic and Monty sometimes did, you know? So I feel like they're learning, even though I know it's part of Power Rangers these days. You got to have sort of that physical comedy, if you will. Like, I did love the fact that episode 9, when it came to its physical comedy, utilized Izzy at the very end, right? When she tries to use one of the buttons on that really janky jacket that Ollie winds up creating for them. And she like creates a gigantic ball and she starts rolling down the hill and she's freaking out at the end, sort of thing. That was pretty funny. That kind of reminded me of Superstition Strikes with Kai, when he, gets that a little bit of bad luck towards the end of the episode too. So whenever they have our Rangers performing in that physical comedy, it's not too bad. So I really didn't mind it here in these 3 episodes that we wind up getting. But solid stuff overall. I mean, we got a new tank formation from our freaking Zords. We got the debut of the Dimitro Zord also, that came as part of the power up. Which, honestly, when it comes to Real Soldier, I almost liked how Real Soldier introduced it a little bit better. I believe it was the case, like, you had to answer like this riddle from it. It was like this sacred Zord, I think, that was in hiding, but in order to acquire its power, I think you had to answer some type of riddle or connect with it on some particular level. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I really liked how Real Soldier handled it, instead of just the idea of like, hey, we just happen to activate a brand new Zord. You know what I mean? So hopefully we'll get maybe some further insight into the Dimitro Zord, but we'll definitely have to see. But guys, listen, at the end of the day, 9 through 11 on Netflix. It's a brand new era of Power Rangers Dino Fury. What did you guys think? I definitely want to know your guys' thoughts in the live chat or the comment section box below, guys. Let's see here. Who else do we wind up having joining us today? Midwest is in the house. What's up, Midwest? Thank you very much for certainly coming through. Tony Robinson in the house as well, man. Thank you, Tony. Always good to see your face around these parts. Let's see here. We got Trent in the house. What's up, Trent? Thank you very much. Let's see here. Adam Perea, he says, Amelia stole the show in episode 11 and I died when Chance's hobby was so emotional. I love the way we pose. We pose so good, guys. That was probably my favorite, the whole crying, because you love how well the Dino Fury cast poses. I thought that was great. And of course, Kai's Ollie making Amelia uncomfortable made her back up. Yeah, she definitely did steal the show. Like, for me, when I come to think about it, guys, you know how we did sort of our first half of season 1 for Dino Fury? We did like our best of moments sort of thing. My best moment of this season so far was the Nexus Prism scene, where we get Zato trying to talk to the Nexus Prism, and we see the Morphing Masters and understand how involved they are. If you guys recall, one of my runner-ups for that episode for best moment that I was really struggling with was not only that one, but also the Amelia and Solon scene, where we get to see Solon kind of giving her some advice to overcome some of her superstitious behavior that she had. The fact that Amelia and Pop Pop in episode 11, like, I almost wish that they had just given us all 11 episodes, because this scene for me probably would have been up there with my honorable mentions, or like almost made the cut as well, next to the Nexus Prism scene. And for me, it's just amazing that it's now 2 episodes that I've had of Hunter Deno as Amelia that have really blown me away. I don't know what it is about her, but she really knows how to capture a scene when it's certainly her time to shine. So the fact that we got to see her as the Pink Ranger talking with Pop Pop, seeing their relationship and their bond continue to grow, understanding a little bit more about the situation we find her parents in, or the fact that we don't have her parents around, type of thing, I think was pretty eye-opening. That led to a lot of theories this week, which we'll certainly talk about here in a minute. But Amelia, already two moments this season that have really floored me, that have almost taken me to making this like one of the best scenes of the season so far. I really love what Amelia's certainly doing. So I definitely agree with you there, Adam. AJ says, I was bummed we didn't get Jordan fight debut as a Gold Ranger or Void Knight and his lover, but most definitely Simon wants the anticipation to be huge. Yeah, I think it's just smart storytelling. I think it's just all about execution, and they're definitely doing a great job in regards to that. Agree or not, Amelia definitely showcased and made history being the first Pink Ranger to bring out battle armor in all original footage. I don't think Asuna and Real Soldier had one. I think Asuna did eventually have one. I think Asuna's was the kangaroo with the boxing gloves, which I can't wait for you guys to see. Some of these armors are incredible. I definitely love the kangaroo one with the boxing gloves, and there's also another one that gets debuted along with the Gold Ranger that just looks perfection and sleek. I absolutely love it. Ooh, Adam Perez got a little theory here. He says, if I had to put my money on it, I think Pop Pop is our version of Seto. Maybe Brown or Bronze Ranger. That was his second appearance, and from the cast of all 6 Rangers, he is there. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure how Pop Pop was going to be used this season. I thought maybe he was just going to be a one-off in season in episode 6, Superstition Strikes. But the fact that they bring him back, hey, listen, more Pop Pop the better, if you ask me. He was a little too overly animated for me in episode 6, but in this episode, it was fantastic. The guy is like infectious. Every time that he's on scene, I got to know what Pop Pop wants to talk about every time that he's on scene. So I hope he comes back. Whether or not he's going to be the Seto of this show, who knows? But I would be open to it. I know some people were theorizing maybe it's going to be Mick that comes back at some point in time and tackles that armor. For me, I just think that this opens up the idea that some of these supporting characters that we've seen in the past may not be one-offs, that they definitely might be coming back for sure. Johnny, he says, I love episode 11 from the most. Amelia really stole the show in that episode. I also love episode 10 because of Slither. Some really back-to-back great bangers there in 10 and 11. Andrew, what's up, Andrew? Appreciate you coming through. Andrew Vargas in the house. Episode 11 was iconic. Yeah, definitely was iconic. I mean, they have mentioned the idea that this season is going to be filled with firsts. And we've seen several cases of firsts so far within the first 11 episodes. And I don't think we're close to done, guys. I don't think we're close to done at all. But yeah, definitely iconic. Very historic for sure. The Dino Fury season. Like, if this is going to be sort of like the last iteration of Power, again, this is but if this is truly going to be like the last iteration of Power Rangers sort of as we know it in this format, man, I got to tell you, talk about a way to go out with just making great connections to the past, great first, a very iconic season so far, it feels like. Common Rider 64 in the house. What's up, Common Rider? Appreciate you coming through today. For Andrew, he picks episode 11 as one of his favorites. Was the one that stood out to him the most. Hunter has really came to shine. Yes, she definitely has. She definitely has. I love her enthusiasm also on just social media, helping Dino Fury continue to get the publicity and get eyes out there. The fact that Dino Fury was out here trending on some people's Netflix. I don't think it was trending out where I was at. I didn't see it. I didn't see it on my trending now list. Unfortunately, Texas sucks, man. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm glad it definitely was trending elsewhere. But Hunter is just good for the franchise. You know what I mean? There's just some people I feel like each season that kind of steps out and just loves being a Power Ranger and loves being a part of this franchise. Not to say that other people don't, but I definitely feel like if there are people at the forefront of social media that continues to push it, Hunter's definitely one of them for sure. Power Rangers Legacy says episode 11 was the highlight of these 3 episodes. 10 was number 2 with the introduction of Slither, aka Weisel. I'm glad to see which one you like, Power Ranger Legacy. Yeah, I can't argue with any of these guys. I mean, if you guys love episodes 11, I'm seeing why. I've definitely seen why. I even posted that on Twitter. Like, even before I watched the episode, I saw a ton of people talking and commenting about episode 11. And when I finally did get to see it, I was like, I see what all the talk is about. I see exactly what all the talk is about. Blossom, what's up, Blossom? Appreciate you coming through. She says the episode that stood out was when Solon was fighting Slither. Yeah, episode number 10. For me, it was really great to see that Slither, that Solon's not just like the grandma of the group that like keeps the house tidy and stuff while the Rangers are away. The fact that she gets down and she can defend herself to that tail whip, I thought was great, honestly. So I love getting to see the growth of Solon also. So I'm glad you liked that moment, Blossom. Goda, what's up, Goda? Goda in the house. Appreciate good seeing you in here. Andrew said, still binge watching the show. Yeah, I was actually thinking about maybe going back and rewatching episodes 9 and 11 once again. I've already watched episodes 1 through 8. I don't know how many times through already, but who knows? Maybe I want to sit down and now binge episodes 1 through 11 in total. Because when I watched it this week, I only watched episodes 9 and 11. I didn't go all the way back because I literally just did that like if not a month ago, because we did our best of the first half of the season so far. But man, I almost feel like I should almost go back and correct some of these moments, like the best boost key or best armor type of thing. I might have to make some corrections now. Well, if anything, I may just add, like, when we do get our second half of the season, I may just add these 3 episodes and include them in to the second half of the season, so I can still kind of vote on them and see like what makes an honorable mention, or if any of these episodes will actually pull off a victory for the second half of the season. So we'll definitely see, guys. Again, if you haven't checked out sort of our best of episode, there is it is up on our YouTube page, and we also even cut out just the individual ones that we felt won for the first half of the season. But definitely go ahead and check them out. Keanu in the house. What up, Keanu Lusty? Good to see you, Keanu. Thank you very much for coming through. Before we go on, JB says, what in the house? What's up, JB? Says, I'm out here celebrating Juneteenth. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Juneteenth just became a national and federal holiday, if I'm not mistaken, this past week. You celebrate, JB. Go ahead, pop that beer, whatever. I don't know if you're barbecuing out there or whatever the case may be. But yeah, man, Juneteenth, I felt like really grew in popularity last year when it was really brought to a lot more people's attention, right? I think the idea of Juneteenth is that people in Galveston, Texas were like the last group of people to find out that like slavery was over, that they were free. I believe the war had ended, like 2 years prior, if I'm not mistaken. Like it took 2 years, literally word over to Galveston, Texas, for these people to find out that they were actually free from slavery, sort of thing. So that was really the last bit of freedom, if you will, or at least, the idea of people realizing everything that had happened. So really big monumental moment here for our country, to really kind of bring in the end of slavery, guys. So definitely do some research. If you guys haven't had the opportunity or don't quite know what Juneteenth is, trust me when I say it's quite interesting to certainly go ahead and read about it. For me, if anything that stands out to me, it's really the idea that, yes, while slavery was abolished like 2 years prior, the fact that there are people out there that still didn't want to let other people know, right? Or like still kept that information to themselves because they wanted slavery to certainly continue. So it's pretty crazy out there how some just do some history lessons, guy. Just take some history lessons. But yeah, I'm glad you're out there celebrating Juneteenth, JB. Thanks for bringing that up here today. Let's see here. video DVD in the house. Thank you very much. He said, I know it's not over yet, but to me, the biggest winner is Bert Selling and his amazing music. Yeah, each and every time. One of the pieces that I really loved in this, it might have been episode 10, where we got the actual roll call from our Rangers while they're in the middle of fighting, right? And not only the roll call while they're still fighting, but that Bert Selling music still attached to it, still going. It works so well for me. Trent, he said, we got so many henchman fights in those 3 episodes. Yeah, one for me, I can't remember who I was talking with. It was maybe Matthew, I believe, might have made a comment in episode 10's review. There's a shot where you get some of the Rangers that are fighting inside, and it's just a one unedited shot that goes from like one Ranger, and then it moves over to the Ranger on the steps, and then it moves over to a Ranger flipping into the scene, sort of thing, to take down one of the henchmen. I just love the way that this show continues to change its techniques and do things differently as we continue along through this season. They really know how to spice it up. Blossom says Amelia is definitely the coolest pink in Power Rangers history. I'm glad you like her that much, Blossom. I'm glad you like her that much. Sunny Shields in the house. What's up, Sunny? Says, yeah, we love Pop Pop. Yeah, Pop Pop's a national treasure. Like, we should everybody's got to protect Pop Pop like at all costs at this point. Ooh, Goda got a comment here. He says, Amelia does share a lot of traits with Yui. Missing parents, lives with granddad, works in social media. That's a great comparison, Goda. I didn't even make that connection until you certainly did. So thank you very much for bringing that up. Edward Sanchez Productions in the house. Thank you very much. Good seeing you. Keanu on picking their favorite episode. Episode 11's coming through for Keanu. It doesn't surprise me, man. It was super impactful and iconic, as some have said already so far. Enrique, what's up? Enrique says, so most of the episode will see the Dino Fury Gold Ranger. I wish that was the case. I wish that he wind up debuting in these 3 episodes, but unfortunately they want to go ahead and hold off on him just a little bit longer, which I'm perfectly cool with. Shadow Nova says, I think episode 10 might be it for me. Slither has already become one of my favorite Power Ranger villains. Yeah, I would agree with you there, Shadow Nova. For me, I think 10 takes the cake. I don't think there's any wrong answer to the question. What's your favorite episode out of the 3? For sure, everybody likes what they like. But yeah, I would agree with you there, Shadow Nova. Episode 10 certainly did it for me. Again, not only Slither, Zato and Solon stuff, great fight sequences, especially the roll call in between fighting, definitely stood out to me. So I'm glad you liked that episode also, Shadow Nova. Sunny Shield says, yeah, that fight scene as well as her moment when she roars at the Rangers really shows that Solon is an awesome original character, complex and well designed. That's a great description of her, Sunny. Complex and well designed for sure. AJ says, it was so hard for me to avoid episodes 9 through 11 for 2 days after the premiere. I finally caved on Thursday. The only thing that spoiled me was Slither's debut. I still don't know how you avoided 1 year of spoilers with Beast Morphers. It's that ducking and dodging, man. It's that years of experience, knowing the international spoilers are coming, to slow crawl through your social media. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when I get to that next tweet, I just see like just the couple first sentences. If it's getting to spoiler territory, then whoop, I just slide right past it. It's duck and dodging, man. I'm telling you, it comes with experience, AJ. You'll get there one day. But I'm glad you caved, man. I'm glad you caved. As hype as I know that you were waiting for 9 through 11, I'm like, bro, why are you torturing yourself this way? Like, if you want to watch the episodes, just watch it. So I'm really glad that you caved, and you certainly did enjoy it, man. Like, meet up with us with all this spoiler talk. You know what I mean? Sunny does say, I just love the momentum of the show. I feel like we get big events. They will feel more impactful than, say, the Beast Morph crossover because of the pacing and the way the show plays with stakes. Good point there. Good point there. Goda's got a favorite episode. Episode 10 was his fave. I love the focus on Zato and Solon's relationship with the continuation of Zato's mission to find Rafcon. I love this subtlety of of Russell Curry's acting. Yeah, that's a great point. His subtlety is perfect. It definitely fits the Zato character really, really well, based off of him really being sort of out of touch with the world these days, if you will. So I definitely agree with you there. All right, guys. Since there is so much Amelia talk certainly going, yeah, AJ, thank you very much for this. R.I.P. Yui. That's right, because she did pass away, unfortunately. That's crazy. That's crazy. So yeah. Um, all right, guys. With that out of the way, we will continue to talk a little bit about this. But I do want to go into the form of just jumping into the Void Knight and Amelia theory that's certainly going around these days. I mean, if you've been on Twitter, if you've watched episode number 11, I feel like your mind just continued to wander and trying to put together some of the pieces that have just added to this Dino Fury mystery, if you will, right? Previously in episode number 8, we saw the lady in the water, if you will, Santora. The young lady that's inside the tank that we see that Void Knight clearly has an attachment to, calls her his love, if you will. So there are a ton of people out there assuming that this is probably his wife or whatever the case may be. But it's not until episode number 11 that we get two interesting revelations from Pop Pop in this episode that make you scratch your head, right? When he enters McScary Manor, he gets a little bit terrified by the spooky Annabelle doll looking thing in the house, and he clarifies that he's seen scarier things in his life, and he refers to the idea that he's worked at Area 62 before, which I was like, what? You've worked there before? It does make me want to go back and rewatch Dino Fury again to pick up on all the Area 62 scenes now, especially when Void Knight pulls out. Doesn't he have like a map or something like that of where like the people that worked at Area 62 were doing experimentations at, or they were looking for things, if you will? So this site has been very much active before. It does make me wonder what caused it to kind of shut down, and why Pop Pop doesn't work there sort of anymore. So Pop Pop already throws in the Area 62 sort of connection there, and then he goes on when he's talking to the Pink Ranger, the idea that her parents wind up being lost, and being lost in a very mysterious manner, which I would assume has been just undiscovered as of right now, right? Probably just still a missing persons sort of element to Amelia's parents. And he also references the idea that he thinks, because of the fact that her parents have vanished in a mysterious sort of way, that it kind of led Amelia down that road of believing in the supernatural, right? Or believing in the paranormal. I'm not necessarily under the impression that Amelia believes in this stuff because she's been trying to hunt down her family for the longest time. I mean, maybe she is. Maybe that's why she wants to get into reporting. She hasn't really come across as like an investigative reporter, right? Like she hasn't revealed like, I'm doing this because I want to find my parents. But from what I'm getting from Pop Pop is the idea that just knowing that there's a mystery surrounding it, maybe that's opened up her eyes to other mysterious things like the paranormal and the supernatural. So there are some people that are assuming, because of this mysterious way that her parents have been lost, maybe there is some connection to Void Knight and Santora to the Amelia character. I will say this. I do enjoy this theory. I would certainly need more connective tissues than that to fully really believe this theory. Though I am going to need just a little bit more, but I love this theory. I feel like this is the first theory that everybody initially thinks when they hear these two pieces of information that wind up dropping in episode 11. So I certainly wouldn't mind this being the theory if it's executed correctly, if the writers and Simon Bennett as the showrunner has a really clear direction that they want to go, and their explanation makes sense, that it's interesting, that it's impactful, I'll be completely behind it. But I will say this. There is an aspect of this theory that's way too obvious for me to believe it. There's an element that makes me think that there's a twist or a turn coming, or maybe a completely different theory that we're not latching onto as of yet. That still can figure out the connections, whether that be how's Void Knight and Centaur connected, where did Amelia's family go. I do wonder if there's other theories out there besides just this one. So for me, it feels a little bit too obvious. I don't want to say that feels like lazy storytelling, but I almost feel like I almost wonder if this is just a way to throw us off of what the true story certainly will eventually turn out to be. You know what I mean? So I'm still up in the air in regards to this. I do like the theory, but it feels a little bit too obvious. And I would like a twist or a turn to actually happen to really even further explain this one to us, or at least have it just be a completely different theory. Also, to certainly say the least. I mean, the only reason why I'm also hesitant is because of the fact that it's not like Void Knight hasn't seen Amelia before, right? They've definitely have battled each other a few times. You know, he's seen what she looks like out of her power up mode as a Power Ranger. So there is an element of me that feels like if he's seen her before and he hasn't recognized her, there hasn't been moments of doubt or hesitancy or Void Knight trying to reach out or communicate to her. I would think that Void Knight would remember who he is, unless this armor still is very much sort of, what they utilized in Real Soldier, that it was like a possessed armor. An armor that had a spirit or a soul sort of attached to it, if you will, or a curse attached to it. That the armor attaches itself to other people and things like that. So if that's the case, maybe that could be Amelia's parents, a father under that armor, and he's not recognizing her because of the fact that the armor is now sort of at the forefront of his consciousness. So that could certainly be a way to possibly excuse that or throw that theory out completely. You know what I mean? So I would need to know. I would need to know more. Like, this is a theory that I feel like needs to be elaborated to really make me make the connection. Because just because Pop worked at Area 62 doesn't mean that he knows anybody at Area 62. It could just mean like they hired you to do something and you've been there before and you know the area, but that's really about it. So I do feel that there definitely are very easy ways to dismiss this theory, but I feel like if people can elaborate on it more, maybe add some interesting twists and turns to maybe make these connections possible, I'll be there for it. I'll be there for it. As long as it all makes sense at the end of the day. But guys, I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about the Void Knight and Amelia theory? Do you think it's way too obvious? Do you think that there's clearly more to it where we're going to get some twists and turns? Or do you think it's plain as day and there's nothing else creative about this theory that we have in store for us? I definitely would like to know your guys' thoughts in the live chat or the comment section box below, ladies and gentlemen. And then next up, we will go ahead and continue to further talk more about Dino Fury for you guys, because listen, we wind up getting ourselves a surprise preview this week that I don't think any of us saw coming, especially after the hype of episodes 9 through 12 or 9 through 11. But guys, episode 12 is coming, and it's coming soon. It's coming soon, ladies and gentlemen. This comes to us over from No Pink Spandex, saying that here's a sneak peek at Power Rangers Dino Fury episode 12 coming soon to Netflix. This comes directly from Power Morphicon. I believe that they revealed this during the MMPR Toys segment with Bruno, if I'm not mistaken. So they did go ahead and actually drop this. So Hasbro's clearly paying attention to Power Morphicon enough to go ahead and give them this little tease here, if you will. But if you guys have not had the opportunity to go ahead and check out the preview, let's dive in a little bit here, guys. Let me go ahead and pull this up for you. I will share the audio. Let me go ahead also and pull this up. Shout out to No Pink Spandex for keeping us up to date, by the way, on all the great Power Ranger info when it drops. All right, here we go. So this is the preview for episode number 12.
Hey, I got you a smoothie. Oh, what happened?
I got duped. We all did. Coach Bella doesn't care about anything but money.
Damn, Coach.
Dad?
Izzy, are you training at Evergreen Park?
No?
Good. I was just there, and the Sporks hatched right in front of me. So stay away, okay?
Okay. Should we call the hotline?
I've already called the Rangers, but I need to warn the campground. I gotta go.
I wonder why we didn't.
Solon, why didn't you tell us about the Sporks at Evergreen Park?
There's a Sporks there.
Oh, Solon didn't even know.
Dad said he rang the hotline. We better check it out.
We should check the hotline systems are working.
Is Void Knight messing with the hotline?
Let us know what you find.
Will do.
That's why you make a fine addition to our merry troop.
Yeah, Slather's back, baby.
Happy as a clam to help.
We're too late. They've already recruited it.
Hark! 2 volunteers.
Really, Javi?
Observe how we deal with Rangers. Whammo!
Dino Fury. There you go, guys. So, so a couple things here. It looks like we got the Power Ranger hotline is mysteriously down. We get to hear Warden Buzzkill himself mention like there's a Sporks beast out there. I tried to reach out to the Power Rangers. You know, hopefully they're on their way, but clearly Solon doesn't get that message. So I am kind of curious if this is Void Knight, Slider's idea to go ahead and shut down this hotline so they can't get their tips early enough, if you will. So I am fascinated by that. We can clearly continue to see. First and foremost, I do wish that Sarah Dalton was returned for this episode to go ahead and hand Izzy her shake, because isn't she usually the one that usually provides that that perfect shake that Izzy loves so much? But we get to see Javi here delivering out to his sister as she's clearly having some issues with whoever the coach is. So I am kind of curious to see if we are going to dive a little bit more into Izzy's sort of competitive life and her spirit. Maybe she's got to deal with a really difficult coach in this episode. So we'll definitely see how that turns out. But the return of Slither, which will be great to certainly see how he fits into all this as the brand new general for Void Knight and Mucus here. But yeah, no, it looks absolutely great. I was kind of curious. Like, it did surprise me when we watched episode 10, we got Slither. And then episode 11, he's nowhere to be found. So there were elements in there was a part of me that was wondering if episode 11 was initially meant to be episode number 10, or if maybe at some point in time in post-production, if they decided to go ahead and switch the spacing of the episodes or whatever the case might be, because it did feel a little bit odd to me that we just got Slither in one episode and he's nowhere to be around in the next one. Not to say that he's got to be in every episode now, but it is something that kind of jumped out at me because I was expecting Slither in episode 11. But while he's not there, he's definitely going to be in episode number 12, guys. So for me, I find this really fascinating here that of all the that out of this trailer or this preview for episode 12, while we don't have a release date, it still just says coming soon. And not only does it say coming soon, but coming soon to Netflix, guys, coming soon to Netflix. And if you ask me, I think the days of Nickelodeon and Power Rangers are done. I think that's finito as of right now. If you're going to tell me you're going to give me episode 12 on Netflix, what the hell am I going to be waiting around for Nickelodeon for? If that's the case, if you're going to give me 9, 10, and 11 on Netflix, and then you're going to tell me coming soon to Netflix, episode 12, you know what? Just give me the rest of the season on Netflix before it even hits Nickelodeon at this point. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if we do get the second half of this season before it returns to Nickelodeon. I think Nickelodeon is just going to be slow to bring back these episodes. If they do, they're definitely not going to be premiering for the technically premiering for the first time on Netflix. But we definitely have seen these episodes by far already. Like, it would not surprise me if we do get the second half of episodes on Netflix, and then either we don't see it on Nickelodeon anymore, or Nickelodeon just airs these episodes super late just to finish out its contract unless the contract's already up as we know it. Who certainly knows? But guys, I am fully expecting at this point in time Netflix to have the rest of these episodes pop up. Now, when are they going to pop up? Who knows? Coming soon could mean anytime. I will say this though, and I know it's not the most reliable source of information because of the fact that, anybody can put this information down. Let me see if it's still here though. Oh, it wasn't there. I did see it somewhere on Wikipedia. I'm trying to remember where I saw it at. It definitely wasn't Ranger Wiki, that's for sure. I want to say I saw this tidbit of information on the Wikipedia page that had Dino Fury episode 12 scheduled for August. I saw it briefly, but it's no longer up there. So somebody either edited it, or took it off, or whatever the case may be. But I did see a date for episode 12 as August something. Again, that's not confirmation because, again, I think Wikipedia, anybody can certainly edit it out. So I am fascinated to see, will that August date actually hold up? When you say coming soon doesn't really feel like August. It feels like July or the end of June type of thing. So we'll see what happens. But guys, we are getting episode 12 on Netflix before it winds up getting to Nickelodeon. So again, for me, I think the days of Power Rangers on Nickelodeon are done. I think we're going to get all these new episodes before it returns to Nickelodeon. And if anything, it may not even show up on Nickelodeon, or if it does, it may show up rather late, to say the least. But I want to know what you guys think. What do you guys think about the preview alone? I am kind of fascinated to see, are we going to get into further Javi and Warden Garcia's confrontation from the previous week or the previous couple of episodes? Are they going to go down that path? Is this going to be the episode, or is this going to be the episode where we still see Warden Buzzkill treating Izzy like the princess that she is? Well, I don't want to say the princess, but because I think that she would probably slap the shit out of me if I called her a princess. But just that great relationship between father and daughter compared to father and son. You know what I mean? So anytime we get the Garcia siblings, I'm going to be there for it. I love the fact that this seems to be a focus episode on the both of them. So we'll see what happens, guys. But what did you think of not only the preview for Dino Fury, but now that you know that episode 12 is coming to Netflix, where do you guys land in regards to what the deal is with Nickelodeon? Do you guys think that from this point on, like me, Netflix is going to have all these episodes first and Nickelodeon is going to be late to the party? Or what do you guys think? Do you guys still think that Nickelodeon will have these episodes before they're aired on Netflix? I definitely want to know your guys' thoughts in the live chat or the comment section box below. But this just continues to show to me that we really are sort of in a transitional period when it comes to Power Rangers. You know, we really do have to start changing our mindset in regards to how Power Rangers used to do things compared to how they're doing things now. I do wonder, like, if they're going to say episode 12 coming soon to Netflix, does that mean we're going to be getting one episode at a time? Are we going to get further episode 13 and 14 previews here throughout the week, like similar to how we did last week, right? Didn't they do that last week? I think it was Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. They'd wind up dropping a preview of all the 3 new episodes that wind up coming. Maybe we get an episode 13 preview this week. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know, guys. But I'm kind of curious to know what you guys think in the comment section box. But again, times are a-changing. The way that we used to look at Power Rangers, release schedules, way of filming, all of that is certainly changing under Hasbro. And talk about just the level of excitement that it certainly has brought to the franchise. Because this week, guys, has been, I think Power Ranger fans all across the world have absolutely been pumped to what they've been seeing so far. And I think this is also a really great opportunity for international fans to finally see what Dino Fury certainly is all about, seeing us rant and rave about it here in the States. Now that we have people like Canada, New Zealand, Australia, the UK, you know, getting their own time to dabble in this Dino Fury and come on board with this franchise. I think the idea of it being moved to Netflix was a brilliant move, and you can see just the impact it's having already on the fandom. So keep it up, Hasbro. Keep it up. I think they've got great things in store for us. But guys, listen, at the end of the day, I want to know your thoughts. Power Rangers episode number 12 for Dino Fury. What did you think about the preview? And what do you think this means for Power Rangers on Netflix going forward, guys? Definitely go ahead and let me know your thoughts. Let me see what you guys are saying, though. While I'm in here, I'll actually keep this up so people know like what we're talking about while we're going through some of these comments. Let's see here. Let me see. Goda says, maybe Void Knight is a shitty dad. Look at how he treats Mucus. I mean, isn't there like a trope, like just shitty fathers when it comes to Power Rangers? Like Ninja Steel's dad was gone. I think he bounced on them or he went missing. Yeah, man, it's Power Rangers has a thing with terrible fathers. So maybe that lines up perfectly with Amelia. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, Sunny Shield says, true, Void Knight saw Amelia in human form in the very first episode, but I guess Pop Pop says they were gone at a young age. So that's true too. Maybe they don't know what Amelia turned, like what his daughter, if Void Knight is a father, maybe he doesn't know what Amelia grew into, if you will. You know what I mean? So that's a possibility too, Sonny. Goda, good point. He says Void Knight also refers to the humans at one point, which would be odd for a human. It definitely would. And then Sunny also says, true, if it's like the Guy Sorg armor, then everything changes. Yeah, we don't really know if that is like a possessed armor as of yet. So it could completely give him a different perspective if he is inside of a possessed armor. But Goda says, he says, honestly, I really hope that Void Knight isn't possessed or brainwashed. I like his villainous persona, and it'd suck if it didn't end up mattering. I get what you're saying. Well, you know, I wouldn't say it did. I would say this. If the Void Knight armor is possessed and we come to find out that there is a sense of brainwashing or being possessed, I don't think that takes anything away from the character. I think if anything, it probably would make me feel bad for the person that's been trapped in that armor for such a long time. But if the armor still commits to its plan or the armor transforms over to somebody else, I don't think it necessarily takes away from the idea of him being possessed mattering. I almost feel like it adds an additional layer to it, but maybe I'm wrong. Ooh, Johnny Morero is going to say Slither is pretending to be Warden Buzzkill. Interesting. AJ says, so Garcia Warden didn't even ask about Javi in episode 12 preview. Though I was thinking that originally too, AJ, but I don't even necessarily know if he knows that Javi's there, right? Because Javi literally just showed up with a shake for her. So his dad may not even know that they're together. Midwest says, I think it's Hasbro's answer to international spoilers. Probably right. And if that's the case, thank you, Hasbro. Thank you, Hasbro, for just cutting out that middleman altogether and not allowing us to have any international spoilers. I'm sure that probably helped hurt ratings too over the years, you know? Like if you've watched it elsewhere, I'm sure the drop off of coming back for a second half of the season when you've already watched it probably is brutal on somebody's ratings. You know what I mean? So you might be right, Midwest. And Johnny, he says, I think the second half of Dino Fury on Netflix will premiere August 28th, aka National Power Rangers Day. What do you think, Adam? That might have been the date that I saw on Wikipedia. I want to say that I did see like an August date for episode 12. Again, that's just Wikipedia. We all know that's not the most reliable source for information. It can be edited by almost anybody, if you will, but I did see an August date for episode 12 on Wiki. It's no longer there though. So somebody clearly took that down, but I mean, that would be a really great place to go ahead and release it. The A Games 10 says, so with episode 12 preview clip now out, is Netflix actually going the route of episode batches every few weeks or so? How is season 2 going to be released when the time comes? That's really the $1 million question. I am wondering if it's going to be an episode of 3 batches at a time. One of the things that we talked about was, I would be okay if they went that route of like 3 episode batch and then 1 each week after that. But who knows? Maybe we do get 3 batches after like every 3 weeks or something. I am definitely believing that there's certainly going to be on Netflix going forward. Just the release schedule is going to be odd. I think it'll be interesting. Like if we get an episode 13 and an episode 14 preview this week, then I do feel that maybe it will be dropping in batches. But I don't know, the A Games 10. That's a good question. Like I said, the times are changing. There's really no nobody's out there really confirming this stuff for us. So we'll definitely have to find out as we kind of go along. AJ says, I do hope that we get the Netflix episodes first. We already got 9 through 11. Besides, Nickelodeon already stopped giving the episodes on their website app. Yeah, I wasn't sure if that had been updated or changed or not. I know somebody did mention to us last week that, yeah, when it comes to their website, Nickelodeon no longer has their Dino Fury episodes on there. I don't know if that's been corrected or not, though. Oh, he says that was a mistake on Nick's side. The episodes are back up there. Okay, thank you, the A Games 10, for clarifying that. So yeah, they are in fact back up. So I am wondering how long they're going to be back up though. But Johnny Morero says, goodbye, stupid hiatus, and hello, Netflix. Well, listen, guys, understand there certainly still will be a hiatus. Maybe not as long as a hiatus that we've had before, but there definitely will be hiatuses in between all that. Shout out to Solon, who apparently I think might like pineapples. Isn't Solon the one that mentioned this? This is a random and off topic. Why do some people not like pineapple on pizza? It's so good. I don't understand. I will say this, Adam. You're not the only Adam that does like pineapple on his pizza. I do as well. But listen, before you guys start throwing tomatoes and start boo this man. No, listen. When it comes to pineapples on pizza, I only eat it on like one thing. And what I mean by that is it's got to be Papa John's pizza and it's got to have sausage on there also. So when I have pineapple, I've got it's a cheese pizza with pineapple and sausage on it, or spicy sausage on it, because there is something about that sweet and spicy sort of combination, and the cheese that just works for me. You know what I mean? But yeah, any other time, if it's just randomly pineapples, nah, I can't do it. But yeah, I don't mind pizza. I don't mind pineapple on my pizza as long as it's got other things on there. The A Game says someone on Twitter speculated maybe one episode every Tuesday or an episode every week. Do you think? What do you think about that speculation, Adam? I mean, I kind of like it. I kind of like it too. I'm still okay with the 3 batches. You know, if they want to drop them every 3 batches or whatever the case may be. But I'm okay too with. I mean, who knows? Maybe that's what we wind up getting here, right? Maybe we wind up getting the 3 batches and or the 3 episode batch in 9, 10, 11, and now it's going to start being weekly, just like we said, right? We would be okay if they dropped 3 brand new episodes and then weekly after that. So that might be right up with their line of thinking, the A Games 10. Datilla, what's up, Datilla? Good to see you in here. I still haven't seen the episodes. Been trying to avoid spoilers. Oh no, Datilla, put those head muffs, those ear muffs on, then, girl, because we talking about it. We talking about them. AJ, you say Campbell Cooley technically voiced a woman when Slather turned to the fake Knight of Ravcon. I mean, technically that's not correct. There is a completely different actress that plays it. Like, Campbell Cooley does not voice the fake Knight of Ravcon, like, at all. That's all an actress and a woman in her own voice sort of thing. So I can't technically say that's true at all. Shadow Nova says, did anyone notice that episode 5 they tell us that Warden Garcia's name is Carlos? Really, I didn't catch that. I still call him Warden Buzzkill because of or Warden Douchebag or Warden Asshole. There's so many different words I can call this guy for how he treated Hoppy, but I didn't realize that. So thank you very much for pointing that out. Carlos Garcia, okay. Shadow Nova this says, I think people just hear pineapple on pizza and automatically think it's disgusting without actually trying it. For the most part, that is. Yeah, listen, if it's good enough for the Ninja Turtles, that's good enough for me. You know what I mean? Well, I can't say that because they had some crazy combinations on their pizza before that I would not be willing to try. All right, guys. And with that out of the way, we will be moving on to our next topic, guys, and that is going to be transitioning a little bit over to some Boom Studios talk, ladies and gentlemen. The comic books continue to pour in, and first and foremost, guys, let me just say, apologies, because I have fallen behind on my comic book reviews. I think I'm like behind Power Rangers issue number 7 and Mighty Morphin issue number 8. I definitely have to get on them this week. This week was just floored me with the episodes of Dino Fury. There was just so much extra videoing that I had to do, or recording, I should say, for Dino Fury, for our reaction videos, for our live shows and stuff. It was just a crazy week for me. So I was never able to get to my reviews for comic books, but I will be getting back to them this week, guys. So definitely go ahead and look forward to that, because we do have a new issue that's going to be dropping this upcoming Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, as we do have, in fact, Power Rangers issue number 8 coming to us rather soon, guys, as we continue the storyline with the Imperials. We are certainly building up to that battle with the Omega Rangers. And so for me, I probably won't dive into this so thoroughly, just because of the fact that I personally am behind one issue of Power Rangers, so I'm not quite sure exactly the direction the story has taken within the last issue or two. But Power Rangers issue number 8 is going to be there here in your local comic book stores relatively soon, guys. So let's go ahead and just kind of talk about this. I'm going to go ahead and actually pull up some of the preview pages that they wind up having for us this week. And this comes to us actually from Ranger Command Power Hour, exclusive first look at Power Rangers issue number 8. It says, discover the shocking stakes of Imperial versus Omega Rangers this June, guys. So let me go ahead and pull it up. It says, this is it. There is nowhere left to run and no more time to prepare, as the Omega Rangers must stand off against one of the Imperial, with the fate of an entire planet at stake. And when the Omega Rangers discover the true nature of the threat to Earth, will they be able to warn their former teammates in time? So it's going down. It's about to go down between our Imperials. We've already seen how incredibly terrifying they are when it comes to their abilities. We already know from the Mighty Morphin series that the Eltarians are also worried about the Imperials and the impact that they can certainly have on the world and their destruction also. So this actually makes me really have to go ahead and read Power Rangers issue number 7 to see how we even got into this mess in the first place. So yeah, guys, Omega Rangers facing off against one of the Imperials, just one. I am intrigued to see exactly how difficult that is certainly going to be for them, to say the least. But it does say Power Rangers number 8 will be available June 23rd at your local comic book shops, guys. So again, June 23rd, this Wednesday, new comic book day, Power Rangers issue number 8 will in fact be dropping, guys. So make sure you go ahead and support your local comic book store. If for some reason, if you don't have one near you and you want to go ahead and read the issue, Comixology.com is a great place to go ahead and digitally download your comics. You can read them off of your cell phone, off of your tablet, off of your computer, whatever honestly works best for you guys. If you guys have been keeping up with the last couple of issues of this, though, please go ahead and let me know your guys' thoughts, because unfortunately for me, again, I've been behind a couple of episodes already. So we'll see what happens. Let's see here. JB says, what does have a question? He says, has PMC started? Yes, it started since yesterday. Power Morphicon did have, I think, maybe 1 or 2 panels yesterday, like a pre-show type of thing. But yeah, they do have an entire slate of stuff that's dropping today as well as tomorrow. Power Rangers Legacy says Liana from Beast Morphers did a video on her and her brother and her friends watching an episode of her, and they are the general audience and laughed at Power Rangers. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. All right, guys. Outside of the Boom Studio stuff, that actually will wrap up all of our talk for Power Rangers in general. We will now go ahead and make a transition over to some tokusatsu information for you guys today. So let me go ahead and actually jump into the tokusatsu. First one that I do want to just get off right off of the back, because we're not going to spend too much time talking about this, but it does seem as though we've got some plush toys that are going to be coming out for Zenkaiger. I haven't really seen Zenkaiger action figures per se. I don't know if they're doing any Zenkaiger action figures in the sense of like was the SH Figwarts. I don't believe that they're doing that, with the exception of maybe Zenkaiger, if I'm not mistaken. But I will say this: I almost feel like if you're not going to go that route, with creating action figures for some of these individual members, the idea of plush toys, I feel like work out really well for just the design that we have for some of our Zenkaigers, if you will. Let me go ahead and pull up this article here. If you guys do want a little bit more information in regards to these plush toys, this is from Tokusatsu Network. And here's a better image of all of them. You can see Zox, you can see Kaido here. I think they look great in regards to the plush dolls. The gown looks great. Jurin looks great. Majin's just absolutely adorable. I don't know why Vroom's got that like velvety shine to him. Maybe it's just the way that the material is. That blue just pops for him. But I think they look great, honestly. It says similar to past Sentai plush toy releases, it features all 6 Zenkaigers in their civilian forms. Civilian plush toys are available. And they tell him, however, this time only Kaido and Zox have plush toy releases for their transformed forms, Zenkaiger and Tukaiser. They are scheduled to be released July 31st, guys. So if you're interested in picking these up July 31st, you can go ahead and add these plush toys to your collection. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool, honestly. A little adorable. I don't know if you guys got kids out or not, or maybe some of you guys, I know there's a bunch of action figure collectors out there. I don't know if you guys collect the plush toys or not also, but I thought, why not? Why not? Let's see here. Next topic for you guys. Should I tackle this one? You know what? We'll tackle this one first. Guys, one of the things that I've thoroughly have enjoyed this year that we've been doing here at A Plus More Phenomenal has been our Gokaiger reaction videos. I think next week I officially finish Gokaiger for the second time with our episode 51 reaction. That'll be dropping on our Patreon. But we are almost done with it actually on our YouTube page as well. I think next week you guys will be introduced, I think, to maybe episode 47 this upcoming week as well. So we have been going through Gokaiger for the past 6 or 7 months already. And it's been rather enjoyable. And we're about to say farewell to Gokaiger. And it's going to be pretty sad to see this season come to an end once again. But one of the reasons why we decided to go ahead and dabble in Gokaiger this year was because of the fact that we were celebrating the 45th anniversary of Super Sentai. And I thought it would be really cool to kind of go down memory lane and celebrate, or at least go through other anniversary seasons. And so our choice was Gokaiger this year. And it also worked out also because of the fact that this is Gokaiger's 10th anniversary, ladies and gentlemen. And so while I'm a huge fan of Gokaiger, anytime Gokaiger wants to certainly go ahead and pop up, I'm there for it. I absolutely love seeing Captain Marvelous's appearance in the Super Sentai Greatest Battle, the 4-part miniseries we got like, what, 2-3 years ago or so? Great stuff, to certainly say the least. But if you guys want more Gokaiger, with it being the 10th anniversary, you are in luck, ladies and gentlemen, because while we're saying farewell to Gokaiger for our reaction videos, we should be saying welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we have officially been announced that there will in fact be a Gokaiger 10 years later, or 10 years after, if you will, movie that's going to be hitting. I think the title right now is just 10 Gokaiger, but we wind up actually being introduced to a small little teaser trailer as of yesterday, along with an official poster that wind up dropping, which is, this poster just looks so sick, man. It's so sleek. Absolutely loved it. Get an opportunity to see these space pirates literally out in space. Get an opportunity to see them come back. So 10 Gokaiger will in fact be hitting theaters pretty soon for a limited time, if I'm not mistaken. But let's go ahead and get into some details, guys, because I know you guys are going to want to know what came out of that particular announcement. So let's go ahead and dive into this for you guys today, for you Gokaiger fans. I will share the audio too. This comes to us from Tokusatsu Network. V Cinext Kaizuku Sentai 10 Gokaiger announced. It says, in honor of its 10th anniversary, 10 Gokaiger has been announced for Blu-ray and DVD release on March 9th of 2022. So March 9th is when you'll be able to get it on Blu-ray and DVD. It's just the Shoei Pirate Team from 2011 to 2012 series returns 10 years later for 10 Gokaiger, with each Gokaiger's actor reprising their role. The movie will have a limited theater screening in Japan this upcoming fall. So fall 2021. I'm assuming there's no actual release date as of yet, but fall of this year, and then it will be to Blu-ray and DVD March 9th. It says, when viewers first met the Gokaigers, the crew of space pirates came to Earth searching for the greatest treasure in the universe. Throughout the course of their journey, they utilized the powers of past Sentai members through Ranger Keys and learned what it meant to be part of the Super Sentai legacy. They let go of their hunt for the greatest treasure and leave Earth, declaring that they weren't interested in a planet without treasure. So what is meant by the phrase, the space pirates return, written on the teaser image? Why have the Gokaigers returned to Earth, and what is this different, disquieting air that surrounds them now? And so, yeah, they talk a little bit about it. And what you can expect. That looks like it's about maybe 55 minutes long, so about an hour or so. But those of you who have not had the opportunity to check out the trailer, I guess we should play the trailer and the teaser for you guys now. I mean, I can't read Japanese anyway, so I don't know what they're saying. But the music alone, yes, please. Ooh, is that guy a him? She's definitely aged. Doc? Man. And Captain Marvelous has got an eye patch, yo. First and foremost. I mean, listen, can we talk about this eye patch real quick, please? Captain Marvelous coming through, just absolutely great. I'm trying to remember if did he lose an eye during like Strongest Battle with Void Knight? I can't remember. I don't think that he did. I don't think he had any damage. Maybe this is something that happened to him in one of his other adventures since the last time that we actually saw him. But you want to talk about just going even full on pirates, even more for Captain Marvelous? Yeah, give this man an eye patch. I absolutely love the addition of it, honestly. And just going back and looking at the rest of the cast, I will say, at first, I didn't even recognize this This is Guy, isn't it? The guy that played Gokai Silver? Because he definitely did not have that long ass hair last time that we saw him. She definitely looks like she's definitely gotten a little bit older within the last 2 years. She definitely doesn't have like those princess features that I certainly remember her to have. So I am fascinated to see like what these characters have been about. It looks, I don't want to say darker, like the way that they're presenting the teaser. They definitely have been through some battles. I mean, you can look at the scars on their faces and things like that. Like this team has been through some shit since the last time that we've seen them. So I am kind of curious as to like how much it's actually affected them, if you will. We got Luca there also. We got Joe coming through, and of course Captain Marvelous with the battle scars and the eye patch. But this guys is my shot. The fact here that for me, the one that stands out is definitely Guy. For somebody who joined this team as just a Super Sentai like enthusiast, as a big fanboy, some of the decisions that he's had to make throughout the Gokaiger series really is pushing him towards realizing that like you are a space pirate now, right? Like not only are you just a humanoid from Earth, but if you really want to be a Gokaiger, you got to embrace sort of this space pirate life, if you will. And it definitely looks like he has. It definitely looks like he has. I'm loving the sweet ass jacket that he's wearing. I'm loving the longer hairstyle that Guy. It's almost like Guy literally has just fallen into that rock star space pirate mentality. Like he's fully embraced the idea of being just a Super Sentai to the utmost. So I really want to see what's changed for Guy. His appearance looks incredible just from what I've seen briefly. But this team, anytime you're going to tell me Gokaigers are going to be back, I'm going to be there, guys. And then when you hit me with this theme song too, yeah, so we're finally getting ourselves a 10-year anniversary, 10 years after for Gokaiger. It'll be here before we know it, guys. So I'm super pumped for this. I am super pumped for this. I definitely want to know your guys' thoughts. For me, like I said, it's been great getting an opportunity to revisit this series. I felt like this was perfect timing for us to go ahead and go down that rabbit hole of Gokaiger. So I love the fact that I'm literally about to finish that series, and then this fall I've got myself a brand new Gokaiger movie to certainly explore and check out for you guys. And trust me, once this movie winds up becoming eligible or has English subtitles available to it, we definitely will be reviewing it for you guys and tackling it here at A+ More Phenomenal. So if you're looking for a place for your Gokaiger or Super Sentai reviews, hit that subscribe button, guys, along with that bell notification so that when we do drop brand new videos, you guys will certainly be notified. But I want to know your guys' thoughts. You see the poster for Gokaiger, you see the brief teaser. What are some of the things that really jump out to you about this teaser, even though it's only like 30 seconds short? What jumps out at you? What do you want to see more of? Definitely go ahead and let me know your guys' thoughts in the live chat or the comment section box below. Real quick, I have one more topic to talk with you guys about, but before I do want to go ahead and throw up some pictures I meant to throw up a little bit earlier and missed out on, because of the fact that we've been having some Lightning Collection leaks that have been dropping for us lately. No release dates or anything like that, but I thought it was pretty cool because the Hasbro Pulse that we saw last week for, was it Pink? One of the teases that they actually gave us was for the COG soldiers, and it looks as though they went ahead and released actual official photos for the upcoming COGs. So if you are big Lightning Collection fans, they did go ahead and throw up these two official images. It looks like these are probably just your just regular soldiers, and then they probably come with additional blast and power sort of additions you can go ahead and actually add to your collection. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then we highlighted this a little bit too, the idea of a clip door and Astronomer getting themselves a little bit of a 2-pack. This is just a little bit of a closer image of that display, you can see not only Astronema and Ecliptor, but you see the red Sentry from the Coinless universe, along with some Dino Fury Rangers. It looks like we've got Zato there, along with Ollie as well. But yeah, I think the main focus was certainly that Ecliptor and Astronema package. I think we highlighted it briefly in last week's episode, but I wanted to go ahead and highlight it again, considering the fact that we did get these Cog soldiers actually revealed as well. So looking good over there, to certainly say the least. But I definitely want to know your guys' thoughts in regards to that. Now, last but not least, when it comes to our stories this week, guys, I don't even know how to dive into all this because there's just so much stuff that's going on. But I will say this, guys, Ultraman Trigger is right around the corner, guys. We wind up getting ourselves a second official trailer and a spin-off release for Ultraman Trigger also. Now, this trailer, guys, is like 6 minutes long. It's not even a trailer. This is like a preview of what we can certainly expect. So I'm not going to play it all for you guys just because of the fact that it's like, I'm not trying to get hit with no copyrights, you know what I mean? But I will go ahead and at least highlight just sections of this trailer for you guys. So if you haven't had the opportunity to check it out, please do so. But let's go ahead and just look at what they're talking about in regards to Ultraman, because for me, this was the trailer I was waiting for, the preview I was waiting for to get me hyped even more for Ultraman Trigger, because over the past couple of weeks, we've been highlighting the casting announcements, the voice cast and things like that, learning about Gut Select, some of the weaponry, some of the villains that we've seen so far. So let's go ahead and pull this up for our last topic. This comes to us again from Tokusatsu Network, second official trailer and spinoff released. And here's an image from the trailer itself at the very end, getting to see all the different forms of Ultraman. But it says Subaraya has released a second official trailer for Ultraman Trigger, as well as information about spin-offs and an audio drama. The trailer with narration features new footage from Ultraman Trigger, the spin-offs, Marlu Dex, and the secret origins of Nursi Desi, the struggle of Special Section 3, and an audio drama. Oh, okay, so maybe this isn't the full episode. Oh, well, here's Marlu Dex. She's actually voiced by the same actress that plays Luca in Gokaiger. We highlighted her last week. So she's getting her own spinoff here, which is crazy. She's going to be, it says it's, the first is a spinoff, Marlu Dex, hosted by Marluru, which is voiced by MAO, will provide information, background, and mythology about the Ultra Heroes, kaiju, and mysterious celestial items that will appear in Ultraman Trigger. The spinoff will be available to anyone in Japan who registers for a free account on Subasara Imagination. So that's pretty cool. Help us give a little bit additional insight. But if anything, I guess let's look at this trailer just a little bit here. It is very Gut Select heavy, to say the least.
悠久の時を超えて蘇る光の巨人、そして闇の巨人の復活。新たなる光の巨人伝説
Man, I
が
love this suit
今
design.
再び
I truly do.
ウルトラマン
Let me go ahead and move forward just a little bit more.
の出会いを果たす。眠りについていた光の巨人との出会い。ウルトラマントリガー。ケンゴは
Oh,
戸
you get
惑
to
い
see the crew. This is mostly the crew you get to see from Guts
財団の令
also.
嬢で
Why does she look
一匹の
familiar
娘
to me? Like I've seen
高
her in
校生
something
でありな
else.
がらオールラウンドで活躍する。開発担当、聖明人。
The one thing that I am learning about, because I've never experienced Ultraman before, so I guess I've never realized, like I'm wondering, like does Ultraman always have such a huge cast of people? Because they've got like,
戦闘メカ
man, I think she's gorgeous. I want to know. I probably will be following her character. Like, who is this girl? Oh, we highlighted her in one of our cast previews also. And that's Marluru again. She's got that sharp tongue like Luca does also. Oh yeah, look at the special effects a little bit too if they highlight them. I think the ship looks great in here, special effects wise, of like an airship. It looks like a combination of CG and actual like CG and actual like figures, like models. Look at this mecha too, by the way. This reminds me of like Gundam. The fact that it's like a jet and then it turns into an actual fighter on the ground. And look, you even got the Gut Select in here, able to take on these gigantic ass monsters with these power-ups that they have. Just cool stuff, man. Just absolutely cool stuff. Let's see if we can get into the Ultraman stuff a little bit here, getting to see some action. I've never experienced the Ultraman series before, but this damn trailer has got me so hyped in preview for what we're going to be getting, to see like how they handle their action sequences compared to other things like a Zenkaiger and Kamen Rider. I definitely want to see how it's utilized and filmed and stuff, because it definitely feels like there's different techniques that they utilize for every like tokusatsu series, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm just trying to jump through. We also get this is Bosco from Gokaiger, but he's also playing a treasure hunter in here too. Now that I see him in this form in action, I can definitely tell that that's Bosco. But yeah, he's going to be in here as a treasure hunter for the series too. So yeah, some great stuff. Here's some of the villains.
再び相まみえる。
合力投手ダーゴン、
これは失礼。
俊敏作詞ヒュドラム、闇の怪獣を操り襲いかかる。闇の巨人の目的とは。
I'm telling you, man, the idea of this taking place on Mars, I think is just going to leave for some really great sort of like aesthetics and like just really great designs for that's a cool shot as he tackles the monster. Yes, please. That's pretty legit.
New Generation ティガ7月10日土曜テレビ東京系に
Yeah, guys. So yeah, I want to know what you guys think in regards to this. I'm loving everything that I'm seeing in regards to Ultraman Trigger. I believe that there might be. Please tell me that there was a release date on here. It says the second spinoff is the secret origins of Nerdesi, the struggle of Special Section 3, which will be available in Japanese viewers. It will chronicle Marlulu's story before she enlisted in Gut Select during her time at the TPU's Department of Technological Development. Man, Marlulu is like a big character in here, huh? I wonder if that's because of the fact of who's portraying her, but this is supposed to be before she actually joins. Man, I didn't know she was that much of a big figurehead for this series, but yeah, it's still not giving me a release date in these articles. I feel like these articles, each time you talk about it, I feel like they need to put a release date on here because I keep forgetting. I know it's in July, but it'll be here before we know it, guys. So Ultraman Trigger, I would definitely go ahead and recommend, because I jumped around a little bit for this trailer, but if you guys want to go ahead and check it out, find it on YouTube. I just put Ultraman Trigger trailer, and it was the first one that popped up. It's like 6 minutes long, but it'll definitely give you a better sense of the cast, the crew, the aesthetics, the tone, the vibe of it. The fact that it's taking place on Mars, I think is going to be brilliant. I mean, we've already seen some really breathtaking shots already just from the actual trailer itself. So I really do think that this is going to pack quite the punch when we actually see it. But the special effects quality looks clean as can be. So I'm really excited for this series, guys. But listen, at the end of the day, guys, I want to know your thoughts. What did you guys think about this particular trailer and some of the information that we wind up getting this week? Are you as excited for Ultraman Trigger as I am? Again, this will be my first Ultraman series I'll be watching and reviewing for our channel also. So really looking forward to seeing what we have in store. But guys, definitely go ahead and let me know your thoughts in the live chat or the comment section box below. And with that, guys, we will go ahead and wrap up all of our stories. And if anything, jump into your guys' live viewer questions for the day. Let's see here. Going back to some of your guys' questions, though, Enrique Perez, will there be a new Gokai changes in the movie? Oh, you know what? I hope so. I don't necessarily, I'm okay if they keep the same formation and the same henshin sequence. I wouldn't mind maybe a new sequence, perhaps something since they've gotten a little bit older, more experienced. The times have changed, so maybe we get some different changes. Common Rider, he says, Gokaiger is the third Sentai to get a 10 years after special. Well, definitely deserving of it for sure. If there was any team that I wanted to revisit, definitely them. So I'm thrilled that we're getting one. Jaden, what's up, Jaden? Appreciate you coming through today, man. Thank you very much. AJ says, this might be the 10 years later Super Sentai event in a long time where one of our Rangers don't go rogue. Great examples were Hurricaneer and Deca Ranger. I mean, we'll see. We don't know the storyline yet. We don't know if anybody goes rogue or not. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys. Let me go ahead and start pulling up your guys' live viewer questions here. Let's see. Go over to our email account and see what we have. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Jessica Friedman says, which Ranger team, thank you very much, Jessica, for your question. Which Ranger team would you like to see get a comic book series next? And do you think we will get an LGBTQ Ranger one day? So we already have one in Power Rangers 2017 movie and Trini. But I've said this before, and I'll say it again. With Dino Fury being a big seasons of firsts, I'm still under the impression that one of these Rangers will reveal themselves to be LGBTQ. I don't know who it is. I'm leaning Izzy, but I could be wrong. It could be anybody for all I know. Chance, who certainly knows. Maybe it's one of the Garcia siblings. Maybe it's somebody else. Maybe it's Amelia. Who knows? But I do think that they've been doing such a great job of first this season. It wouldn't surprise me if they pulled the trigger and made one of our Rangers in this season LGBTQ. If it doesn't happen in this season, though, I almost feel like Jonathan Entwistle will have one. So we'll see. As far as which Ranger team I would like to see get a comic book, you know what? I would like to see Hyperforce. I would like to see Hyperforce get a comic book. When it comes to the RPG, while I didn't watch the entire season just because, I didn't have 2 to 3 hours to sit down and binge watching people play an RPG game. I love the cast. If anything, I think there's a lot of story to certainly be told. I really enjoyed what they did with some of the cameos and including them sort of into the storyline. So I think you can have a lot of fun with Hyperforce. Like if for some reason, if we're not going to get ourselves a season 2, if they're not going to animate it in any way, I would be open to the idea of was the Hyperforce getting themselves a comic book series. Let's see here. Marcelino Vasquez. What's up, Marcelino? Which I haven't seen Marcelino today in the live chat. Did I miss him? If he's there, Marcelino, shout out to you, by the way. A couple questions and comments. If hypothetically Power Rangers does keep using Sentai footage, and if Zenkaiger does get adapted, I know how they can adapt while explaining the numbers on the Ranger's forehead. Okay. Since the Rangers are robots, the writers could just explain that it took about a certain number of times to make that robot. For example, it could be an explanation for Jern that it took 16 times to finally perfect his model. Or for Zenkaiger, it could have taken 45 times to perfect his powers. I kind of dig that idea too. One of the things that we talked about when it comes to Zenkaiger, people been asking me a lot, like, Adam, do you think Zenkaiger could be adapted? Do you think Zenkaiger could be adapted? I do think it could be adapted. The question would be, how much money do you want to put towards adapting Zenkaiger? Because you might have to redesign some things, you know? For instance, the costumes alone, just based off of the numbers that you have on their foreheads, you know, you might want to redo helmets, right? Like it would cost you a pretty penny to have to redo Zenkaiger if you wanted to adapt it. So how would you certainly make it work? I do think it could work if you wanted to put money towards it. But I like the hypothetical, Marcelino. I think that would be a really great way to utilize, like, how do we keep the helmets the way that they are, but make you know, make an explanation as to why they're certainly there. I think that's brilliant. I think that'll work. When will you make videos about talking about your thoughts on you know what, maybe I'll look into it sometime here in the next couple of weeks, man. I don't want to put you know, a promise or attach a date to it. I do a ton of stuff around here, Marcelino, if you haven't noticed already. Not only do I do 2 live shows a weekend for you guys, but I also do shows for A+ Hero Report. You know, it takes me a while sometimes to just put out like one editorial video or something that I've been wanting to think about, because we do highlight tokusatsu videos, right? I do, let's see, I'm going to tell you guys how many videos sometimes in the week I find myself doing. Okay, so I've got A+ More Phenomenal on Saturdays, A+ Hero Report on Sundays, both of those live. I also review Black Lightning's not around, but I was reviewing Black Lightning. I was reviewing Supergirl. And mind you, both of these shows dropped at the same time. I was also doing maybe one video on A+ Hero Report a week for like news. I'm currently doing Loki. I've got the Gokaiger reaction, the Go Ranger reaction, Zenkaiger reviews. So I'm talking, I mean, on a weekly basis, man, I'm making 9 to 10 videos a week, you know, and these videos are not short at all. Because for me, you know, I like to have very contemplative videos, very thorough, very complex videos in regards to where we really get into the nitty gritty. I'm really not somebody to throw out 2-3 minutes of your time just me blabbing about stuff that really has nothing to do with anything, you know, or not really giving you anything detailed or concrete. You know, I'm just not that type of person. So I will eventually get to reading the ideas. Whether I make videos, who certainly knows? It's just because there's usually a ton of stuff on my plate, unfortunately. So you know, when I do want to do new things or new videos, I usually have to start taking down some notes like a week or 2 in advance to really get my thoughts out before I can go ahead and kind of put something together. So we'll see. I'm not going to make any promises on the videos, but I definitely will check them out for sure. Excluding everything about the team ups, what was your favorite thing about Wild Force? Never give up. Never give up. I feel like that shit is carried on not only from Wild Force, but almost in every season of Power Rangers after that. I used to love Danny, this big old guy that was just so incredibly shy. I thought he was fantastic. I loved the relationship between those two. Hold on a second. It was just really fun to me. Taylor, I thought, was great as the Yellow Ranger. I love the idea of her being part of the Air Force and stuff. I mean, for me, Jessica Rae, you know, who played the White Ranger, is still crushing on to this day. Danny and Max, I thought, had a great friendship. I always loved just their friendships together, picking on each other, being there for each other, giving each other confidence. There were so many great things that were really great about Wild Force. I really actually, back in 2014, when I went to Power Morphicon, I thought they had a great panel together also. So while not one thing certainly sticks out to me, I think for me, the never give up clearly sticks with me after all these years. And probably the Danny and Max relationship is the one that really stands out to me the most. Let's see here. So thank you very much for your questions, Marcelino. Adrian Perez has got a couple questions. Hey, Adam, hope you're well. I really enjoyed the new episodes of Dino Fury on Netflix. I think really made the show itself stand out from this season that we've had in the past. Yeah, they definitely have done a great job. I mean, I feel like Dino Fury stands above and, you know, above a lot of these series. that we've certainly have seen so far. Not taking anything away from Beast Morphers, because I think Beast Morphers was the great sort of, like the, and don't take this the wrong way. Don't take this the wrong way. Oh, Detelli, you're avoiding spoilers. Okay, I'll try to avoid spoilers going forward. But when it comes to at least Beast Morphers was like that mouthwash that you needed to get Ninja Steel and Neo Saban out of your mouth to get you ready for your next meal in Dino Fury. Like it was a great rinse out, great new stories. You could see that they were pushing the envelope a little bit, doing things a little bit out of the norm. And I was a big fan of that. But when I think of Dino Fury, yeah, I definitely do think it's kind of separated itself and it's just kind of made the show itself its own standout. So I definitely agree with you there. When do you think we will get the Gold Ranger debut of Jordan Fight? And do you think Hasbro and Netflix is holding on to his debut until near the end of season 1 or maybe in the following episodes? Does this mean we are back to basically the hiatus for 2 months again until fall? So I'm leaning on the direction that Jordan Fight will probably debut by episode 15. I think 15 is probably like the cutoff mark for me. I feel like by then you're getting a little bit deeper into the second half of the season. You know what I mean? So I would say episode number 15 within the next 4 episodes. So 12, 13, 14, 15, within the next 4 episodes, I think the Gold Ranger will certainly make their debut. With Amelia having the best episode of the new 9 through 11 release of Dino Fury, what were some of your favorite Pink Rangers that really made an impact post Mighty Morphin? For me, I always loved Cassie from In Space. Jen from Ninja Storm, Jen from Time Force was great. She was always like one of my bigger standouts for me after that. I think, if anything, just based off of the storyline that we got, Kendricks and Astronema, I think for me, just their impact alone and just what it means for the franchise of Power Rangers, super epic in that regards also. I think of some other pinks that really stood out to me. Vita from Mystic Force. While I wasn't the biggest fan of that season itself, Vita always stood out to me. I actually, was it this past week or last week? I thought somebody showed me, I think maybe AJ might have showed me like current photos of Vita. Still looking great, man. Still looking great after all these years. Angie Diaz, I thought was great as Vita. Definitely quite memorable for me, to say the least. I know it's not all clearly Shelby from Dino Charge. And I know she's maybe not necessarily the favorite in regards to like impact, but I always thought Sarah was a cutie from Ninja Storm. But those are just some of the ones that just really stood out to me post sort of Mighty Morphin that really stand out. So those are some of my favorites. Let's see here. Power Rangers Legacy's got a couple questions. It says, hey guys, so Power Rangers Dino Fury made history by being the first Power Rangers series to transition to Netflix while still airing later on Nickelodeon. Do you think that means Nickelodeon is slowly leaving? I think it's gone. I think it's gone. Is there a chance that like Nickelodeon drops the episodes anyway? Yeah. I think it'll be maybe a little bit too late though. I think Netflix will probably air all these new episodes before we even get back to Nickelodeon dropping their episodes. So I do think that this is the changing of the guard that we're seeing right now before us. I mean, I think episode 12 coming soon to Netflix is really what threw everybody's antennas up, like, whoa, wait a minute, I wasn't expecting this. I think a lot of us were expecting episode 12 would be back on Nickelodeon or maybe later for Netflix. But I do think that this means either their contract is done or that Hasbro has that flexibility now to drop everything on Netflix if they wanted to, and Nickelodeon pick up the pieces. What were some of your favorite moments from Real Soldier, Kara Major, and Zenkaiger that were either amazing or just absurd? Huh. Good question. Favorite moments from Real Soldier or absurd moments? Absurd moment is probably the Brown Knight or the Brown Ranger for like an episode. I was so hyped to see that design utilized more. I understood why they use it the way that they did, but a waste of potential. So that was pretty absurd. I wasn't the biggest fan of Real Soldier. Favorite moments though probably was the Ko and Nada stuff that we got with Guy Sorg. It's probably my favorite moments. Just his arc that he wind up having, especially towards the end of his demise, if you will. Probably my favorite moment as far as storytelling wise. I thought they did a really great job with Guy Sorg. From Kara Major, man, there wasn't too absurd. Kara Major rap battle for sure between a Fire and Juru. That's absurd. Favorite moments? There's so many good moments in Kara Major. So many good ones. Damn, there's so many good ones. That's a hard one because I can go from like fighting moments to like that Garza reveal at the end of finding out the idea of him technically being used, you know what I mean? For most of his life was brutal, man. Just brutal stuff, but just great storytelling, There's so many, man. When it comes to Zenkaiger, ooh, favorite or amazing or absurd moments. There's definitely a lot more absurdity in Zenkaiger than there are amazing moments, if you ask me. Probably the debut of 2 Kaiser was probably pretty amazing. So I'll give it that. Let's see. You also say, which team of former Power Rangers you would like to see at Power Morphicon online and for next year if we get to be live and in-person event again? I mean, I usually feel like everybody's there. I mean, if anything, you know what? I would love to see the cast of the 2017 movie there. I don't really know. I don't know if they would attend, if they would attend, or if we ever even had them scheduled to attend anything like that. But for me, I would definitely love to see the Power Rangers from 2017 highlighted there and live in person. Doomsday's got a couple questions. What's up, Doomsday? Now that Rick Medina Jr. Is out of prison, do you think he'll be able to return to Power Rangers as the Red Wild Force Ranger? No. No. Rick Medina's days are done as a Power Ranger, man. Listen. Did the guy serve his time? Absolutely. I think he went to jail when January 15, 2015. I think he was arrested. They originally grabbed him for first-degree murder. And then I think based off evidence, they released him. And then they brought him in again. But this time, instead of first-degree murder, I think they bumped it down to voluntary manslaughter. And I think that gave him, they gave him 6 years or something like that. He did his time. Not to say he didn't do his time. But you know, according to sources, Rick Medina's out of jail. I think it was like November of 2020 is what Wikipedia says. I think somebody mentioned that Danny the actor that's played Danny had spoke with him or had referred to the idea that he was out of jail. So I'm under the impression that he's out of jail. If he did go to jail back in 2015, that he probably has done his time. But who certainly knows? But listen, regardless if he's out or not, it's not happening. It's not happening. Yeah, I just don't. If he were to be brought back, I would be surprised. I would be surprised. Like you killed a man. You know, I know you want to say it's in self-defense and stuff like that, and I don't. You know, I wasn't there. I didn't watch the court or the evidence or anything like that. But if the judge said that voluntary manslaughter 6 years, he did his time. That's great and all. Congratulations. If that's even something to congratulate, but the idea of coming back to Power Rangers, no, I'm good. I hope he doesn't come back. I think the idea of killing somebody immediately takes you off the Power Ranger list. What do you think will happen in the series finale of Dino Fury? Oh God, I have no idea. Doomsday. Maybe the reveal. Maybe we do get. I don't want to say a reveal, but maybe there is like a piece of the puzzle to Amelia's parents being lost that gets brought up. You know what I mean? So yeah, maybe that's where we go from there. Yeah, maybe Amelia learned something about her folks. Maybe Zato and Ion learned something about their home planet Rafcon. Who knows? Datilla, great perspective here. Look at the Chris Benoit situation. He did what he did, and WWE never mentions or acknowledges him. So I wouldn't be surprised if Power Rangers never brings back Ricardo Medina Jr. Yeah, me either. Granted, I mean, look, I was gonna say I definitely do think Chris Benoit and Rick Medina definitely two different situations to a certain extent, but the idea of them being accountable for somebody's death, I think that immediately kind of puts you, like you said, on that blacklist. You know, WWE kind of like tried to remove Chris Benoit from as much of their stuff as they possibly could. Don't recognize or acknowledge him on television, it feels like, anymore. And I think the same way is going to happen. Like, I don't expect Rick Medina to be back at any Power Morphicons anytime soon, any conventions anytime soon. I think he's going to be living his life and doing what he can to, keep himself relevant. But I don't think, I really don't think he's going to do anything. Yeah, I think his days are numbered, guys. So, hold on to Wild Force as long as you can. On a scale of 1 to 10, how hyped are you for the Zenkaiger movie? And how do you think they'll be able to pull off the Gokai change into Q Rangers? First and foremost, maybe like 150. I think my hype level is like 150 right now for Gokaiger, 10 Gokaiger movie. Do you think they'll pull off the Gokai change into Q Rangers? That I don't know. How they did it before, maybe. I guess that's true. Maybe they will. Well, that's right. Q Rangers got more characters, huh? I'm not expecting to see them then, unless it's Captain Marvelous that changes into him, and then other people just change into other Super Sentai teams. They're clearly not going to be able to get the whole entire Q Ranger team. But I don't know. Do they even pull off the Q Ranger Henshin sequence? I have no idea. We'll see, though. Let's see. Johnny Marrero's got 3 questions. Despite the Brazilian licensing convention took down the 2023 release date for the Power Ranger movie, do you still believe that the Power Ranger movie reboot will come out in 2023? Because I really think so. There's still plenty of time. Yeah, there's still plenty of time. I still think that's I feel like we've heard I feel like we've heard 2023 before. Like, hasn't Brian Goldner or the CEOs from Hasbro. I thought they've mentioned like the idea that they want to do a Power Ranger movie in 2023. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll have to look up, Google some stuff again. But I still see it as possibly being 2023. They definitely have enough time. What, it's like 2 years away. So yeah, I definitely have plenty of time to go ahead and make a movie in that time if they truly wanted to. What do you think of the 3 new Dino Fury episodes on Netflix? Also, what was it like seeing the new episodes early in June instead of getting them after the long hiatus? It was an injection of life that I needed into my life. The idea, just that, blam, just exactly what I needed to go ahead and get me out of this Dino Fury rut and to give us something else to continue to talk about on a weekly basis. But it was great. It was a great sort of breaking up of things. You can clearly see the swell of enthusiasm in the fandom this entire week. Everybody was so incredibly active, showing their love to everybody. It was really great. So while I do expect hiatuses to still hit us, I'm definitely not expecting them to be as long or as often as we got them last time. With the first half of Dino Fury on Netflix, do you think we could see the second half come to Netflix early instead of Nickelodeon? I'm definitely leaning that way. Definitely leaning that way as of right now. Adam Pereira's got some questions. Why do you think Super Mega Force and Ninja Steel were really bad seasons, both of which are anniversary seasons? Are you glad that Dino Fury doesn't have any big crossovers right now due to COVID? Super Mega Force, I think they tried to do too much in the little amount of time that they had. The idea of making Super Mega Force like an entire season of Gokaiger, it feels like, but literally cutting that down in half, like there's just so much more potential I felt like they could have done with it. But when you're not celebrating all those past seasons of Super Sentai and Power Rangers, right? Maybe there were a couple of seasons that they didn't really need to utilize. But again, I felt like the idea of adding more original footage, more original storytelling, doing what you could, I think they probably could have gone a really long way. I just felt like Gokaiger certainly deserved almost its own series in and of itself. I just felt like they were just trying to put too much into one thing, and unfortunately, the execution just it wasn't there. Ninja Steel was also just a case of, I don't want to say censoring it, but just treating kids like they were stupid, not pulling the trigger on some creative ideas that I thought would have pushed Ninja Steel ahead a little bit. It just was way too safe of a season. Just like paint by numbers once again. So they definitely missed out on a lot. Am I glad that Dino Fury doesn't have any big crossovers right now? No, I mean, I'm definitely bummed that Dino Fury is not going to have a massive crossover. I definitely felt like this was a great year to certainly do one, especially when it comes to like Dino teams again. If they wanted to try and do something else, I would have been completely okay with that. But I do think that we will get something, whether or not it's going to be a massive crossover. Maybe it'll be future New Zealanders, past New Zealand Rangers, maybe coming back in some way or another. So maybe that's the route that they go. So I do think we'll get something, but just maybe not a big crossover event. Do you think this weekend's Power Morphicon virtual event will announce a surprise or just made pre-recording panels or live broadcasts? I believe that they're all pre-recorded panels, but doesn't mean that those pre-recorded panels can't have surprise announcements within them, right? Like, I don't think we expected the MMPR Toys segment of the pre-show for Power Morphicon to have a episode 12 preview for them to go ahead and actually drop for us. You know what I mean? So pre-recorded or live is definitely a chance for some surprise announcements. So do I think we'll get any more? I do think that we will. I wouldn't be surprised if we get 1 or 2 more surprise announcements this weekend. What stood out to you in these 3 new episodes of Dino Fury? Quite a lot. I'm trying not to spoil anything for Datilla. Yeah, I mean, I felt like I talked about it a lot at the very beginning. Couple things that stood out to me. Amelia continues to stand out to me. The usage of original footage continues to stand out to me. Props to Campbell Cooley also. He definitely stood out to me. I thought he did marvelous work. Yeah, we got a lot of firsts and just a lot of cool debuts that I was a really big fan of. Just some really great scenes also with Amelia, Solon in general. Yeah, a lot of people shined. A lot of people shined in here. What's up, Isaiah? Isaiah in the house. Appreciate you certainly coming through. And last set of questions from AJ. Let's see what you're saying in here, AJ. What do you think of the return of Dino Fury premiering on Netflix with episodes 9 through 11? Did they satisfy you? And were you bummed that Jordan Fight hasn't debuted yet as the Gold Ranger, even though we had previous Gold Rangers who debuted earlier? They definitely did satisfy me. This was definitely a great batch of 9 episodes I was really looking forward to. Some hit better than others, but very satisfying to certainly say the least. Was I bummed that Jordan Fight didn't debut? Yeah, just a little bit. I'm still waiting for Homeboy here to get his moment of praise. You know, he's been waiting around. Like he's literally filmed. He went to New Zealand, filmed all his stuff, came back home, enjoying his summer, and he still hasn't had the opportunity to watch his episode debut yet. So I do feel a little bit bad for Jordan Fight, but you know, that's what comes with being the Gold Ranger. You're coming in a little bit later in the series. So I am bummed we didn't get to see him, but you know, I think the decision making by that was a smart one and was a great one. So I am expecting him to have a great debut when his time comes. You also asked, did you expect Hasbro to release preview of episode 12 today as I write this? Or was it a big surprise? Huge surprise. Huge surprise. Do you think this might be the episode where Jordan Fight debuts or maybe an episode after it? Tessa and Chance seem to wear clothes they wore when the cast introduced Jordan. The others may change clothes twice like they did in episode 5. I'm not really paying attention too much to the clothing. I mean, it's Power Rangers. Sometimes we've seen Power Rangers, like you said, with wearing the same costumes for like 2 or 3 episodes type of thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see these characters wearing them again. But I don't think this is the episode. But who knows? Again, I give it up until at least episode 15. I think he'll be here before 15. Does that mean episode 12? I'm not quite sure. Just based off of the preview, not really seeing anything that makes a connection to a Gold Ranger or Jordan Fight as of yet. But weirder things have certainly happened. But yeah, super big surprise. I was not expecting that at all. Do you think that if Saban had paid Toei to create more footage for 3rd season of VR Troopers, or Saban created all original footage, the show would have still went on? So many questions left unanswered for not having a real series finale. I don't really know what caused the downfall of VR Troopers, so I don't necessarily know if it was like, was it just canceled short? Was there just not enough footage? And because like there was no more VR Troopers over in Japan or whatever the show certainly was it Metal Heroes? Like did they not did it run out of footage and then Saban just said screw it and just stopped the show, or did it get canceled before they were able to utilize it? I don't really know what brought to the downfall of VR Troopers, but I mean, I'm sure if Saban had paid Toei, maybe, but if anything, I mean, I think maybe just original footage probably would have worked too, but who knows? Maybe I'll have to dive deep a little deeper into VR Troopers and like the demise of that particular show. All right, guys. I think other than that, I think that does it for all of our live viewer questions for the day. Let me go ahead and jump into some of these comments though, last, just to see if there's a little bit of stragglers here. The Tilla does say, is anybody doing Power Morphicon online? I probably will be watching a couple of panels today. I think at 3 o'clock there is a Diversity of Power Rangers Part 1 panel that's going to be dropping. So I'll probably jump into that. I'm kind of curious to see if they have like multicultural Rangers for this panel or who they're talking to, because I would love to see like how they tackle it, especially in today's climate and things like that. I just think it's something to emphasize and certainly talk about. You know, Power Rangers has always been quite diverse and multicultural. So I think this is a great panel. Very aware of the times for the panel, if I'm not mistaken. So there was a SPD and Mystic Force panel earlier. I believe there was also a Dino Charge and Ninja Steel panel earlier. Again, a lot of these are pre-recorded, so you guys definitely do have the opportunity to go ahead and certainly check them out, because I believe they're on Power Morphicon's YouTube page, if I'm not mistaken, if you guys aren't subscribed to it. So definitely go ahead and check it out and show Power Morphicon some love this weekend, guys. Going back to absurd moments from or amazing moments from Kara Major, Blossom says the rap battle between Jurin and Fire was awesome. For the record, it really helped my sweet Babu fight back. Yeah, it definitely helped Juru certainly get through it. I mean, listen, for a guy that loves rap music and hip hop, like you know, I'm sure Russell Curry wouldn't be spitting those bars either. But they did what they did. It was funny. It was funny. But I'm like, what the hell? Definitely an absurd moment for sure. AJ says, I'm glad that the Wild Force team are attending Power Morphicon again. I'm also glad it's online because that way the fan questions can be screened before being allowed to be used. Good question. A good point there. Many people been giving the cast a hard time. I'm wondering why they're giving him a hard time, though. I don't see why they should be giving the cast a hard time. I thought they were a really great cast. Never give up. Never give up. Adam, he says, do you find it funny that Will from Ninja Steel, aka Brody, is the only one still does cons for Ninja Steel? Preston does sort of, but not really. Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised. I would have thought maybe like Calvin and Calvin and Haley would have maybe been doing some also. Christy, who played Sarah, I can see her not maybe doing conventions. I feel like she's got her own life with her children, her kids, and her working out and stuff. Like, I don't even think she lets fans like comment on her Instagram page. I think she probably wouldn't be surprised if maybe she gets harassed just because of how beautiful she is. Like just thirsty ass fans, maybe just bugging the shit out of her. So it wouldn't surprise me. That's why she maybe tries to avoid going to conventions and being out in the public. So it doesn't really surprise me now that I think about it, with the exception of maybe like, Calvin and Haley. I would have thought maybe them too. But, I've never got the opportunity to meet Will. So maybe one day I'll be able to catch him at a convention. Do you think Ninja Storm's still better than Ninja Steel? Yes. I don't recall if they did any ninja stuff when not using Sentai footage. No, I did like Ninja Storm. Oh, I didn't know that. AJ says many people kept mentioning and asking the cast about Rick and spamming them that he ruined Wild Force's image. I mean, I don't think he ruined Wild Force's image. I think that's an issue of fans not being able to disconnect real life with entertainment. Like when I go back and I watch Wild Force, I see Cole. I don't see Rick Medina Jr. I see Cole. I feel like I see those characters. I don't think that takes anything away from all the hard work that they certainly put in. So that is a little bit of a bummer, like, especially with a topic that's so sensitive, like Rick Medina. Like, I would never bring that up to the cast and crew, like ever, unless I was like on a personal basis with them. Like, if they knew me, if I interviewed them like a handful of times individually and we were like buddy, maybe that's something that I would ask them like as a friend, on the side, like, hey, well, what's going on with Rick? Any news? Is he okay? How's he, how's things managing and stuff with his life? But there's just certain questions, like the idea of spamming people with these questions or asking them there's just questions that are just overly sensitive that you should just know better as a fandom. You should just know better, like that are questions that are just off the table. And I think one of those questions is definitely the Rick Medina question. Just let this Wild Force cast just live the life that they want to and continue to enjoy Power Rangers for what it is. You know what I mean? So, who knows? Marcelino, thank you for this. If you want to know what happened to VR Troopers, catch Julio Coolio video on Saban's other shows. I will do that, Marcelino, because I would like to know what happened to the downfall of VR Troopers. Maybe, maybe there was a way to bring it back. Who certainly knows? I have no idea. All right, guys. I think other than that, I think that might do it for us here today, guys. So thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys certainly coming through today. I will say this before we leave, guys. I'm really eager for where Power Rangers is certainly going to be going right now. The transitioning over from Netflix to Nickelodeon has been fantastic. Certainly not to say that it hasn't had its bumps in the road type of thing, right? I mean, I'm sure there are some people that, like us in the fandom, might be kind of confused as to how things are going to be transitioning over from Netflix to Nickelodeon, but I think all of that will probably be figured itself out within at least a year's time, easy. I mean, by the time we get season 2 on Dino Fury, I think a lot of our questions will have been answered by then. But the release schedule has significantly changed. Again, I'm still very much on the bandwagon that now that we're getting an episode 12 from Netflix, we probably will be finishing this first half of season 2 off before these episodes even get back to Nickelodeon, if they even go to Nickelodeon whenever that hiatus is certainly over. I mean, we got 3 batches of new, 3 episode batch in 9, 10, 11. Does that mean weekly now we're going to get following episodes? We'll see, guys. But once we have a better understanding of the schedule, we'll definitely go ahead and keep you guys posted. But Hasbro, keep doing what you're doing, guys, at least when it comes to the TV side of things. I think you're making some fans very excited, and that's always a plus for the fandom, to certainly say the least, guys. So yeah, other than that, guys, thank you very much, Datilla, for another great show. Definitely check out episodes 9 through 11 when you get the chance. You will not be disappointed. I think you'll be very happy that you certainly did so. But other than that, guys, I think that's going to go ahead and do it for us here at A+ More Phenomenal. So thank you very much for your time. As always, we certainly will be back later on this week with more reviews, more reactions, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't subscribed to our Patreon, certainly go ahead and do so, guys. Show your support. $1 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month, whatever you can certainly afford. Trust me when I say it definitely will go ahead and growing this particular channel, whether it be production, whether it be design for the office, whatever the case may be, guys. Definitely go ahead and show your support if you can. Patreon.com/A+opinions. A ton of exclusive and early access content for you guys. And if for some reason, if you can't help out the channel monetarily, do us a big favor. Subscribe to the channel. Click that bell notification. So when we do drop brand new videos, you'll certainly be notified. If you love our content, if you love this week's video, hit that thumbs up, that big thumbs up. That like button goes a long way, and feel free to join us in conversation in the comments section after this video airs. If you further have any other topics, questions, or things like that you want to go ahead and mention and further this discussion. But until next time, guys, that's going to do it for us here. We will be back live next Saturday at noon Central Time, so certainly join us then. But until then, do me a big favor, guys. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and as always, keep it A+. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.